I've been running in circles at 10,000 miles of pavement, trying to make it all make sense. I've been underslept, overworked, overstressed. I'm exhausted, but I got you. I've had friends that have thrown me aside like a burned out cigarette, and times that I've taken it all but then lost it. I've been misunderstood, tasted the bad with the good, but I still got you.
Good morning. It is a good day to have a good day. Today is Wednesday. Our lavacrete garden bed and wall project starts this weekend. Saturday and Sunday is the workshop. So we have a lot to do today, Wednesday, because Thursday and Friday we're supposed to get quite a bit of rain. So that will be interesting. But today we got to get a lot of prep work done. Our friend Eric is here. He's been here for a couple of days. So this morning I'm making everybody breakfast and then we'll get started. You got to eat outside.
Thank you.
Do you love the sprouts?
They're pretty good. I only got a tiny bite of them though. Hold on. Pretty good.
So breakfast is out of the way now. It's time to move some dirt. It's tractor time. There is just one thing I have to show you before we get on the tractor though. I was coming over to the bathroom earlier and I saw this. There's a hole and we have mint growing out of it. It's so cute. And that kind of makes me want to just poke holes in that planter and have stuff growing out of the side. It's pretty fun. So this is the area where we are going to be building garden beds and a little wall to protect people from running into our septic cleanouts. Eric yesterday filled this area in and compacted it really well. It looks so much better. So glad he knows how to do a tractor really well because I don't. It would have taken me so long and it wouldn't have looked nearly this good. So anyway, we don't have any AB mix for these earth bags. So we're going back to our roots. The very first building we did, which was the solar shed, we just used our native soil and added 10% Portland. So that's how we're going to be building this small wall. It's just a tiny wall. It is not big. This will be fine. Everything's great. Let's go play on the tractor.
And to give you a better idea of the long-term plans for this area, I'm going to show you real quick our tentative plans. We right now are working on this retaining wall and these lavacrete garden beds. Purple is lavacrete, the red is Hyperadobe. So you can see we're going to have a facade of lavacrete on this Hyperadobe wall. Eventually there's going to be a retaining wall around this whole building, and it's all going to match and it'll give us a nice little entryway right down between these to access the garden beds and then to come around the water tank and the generator to get into the building. So as you can imagine, this necessitated a ton of planning and measuring and really making sure that everything was perfect. This felt like our first chance to finally design a finished landscaping area that would be tied to the roundhouse, so we really took our time to measure exactly where everything would go, making sure all the future walls and garden beds were parallel and perpendicular with the lavacrete utility lodge. A little more work up front, but we think it'll make a big difference in the finished garden. So we are out marking for the lavacrete garden bed workshop and a little wall. We're having second thoughts about the placement of a few things because we want to make sure that we still have access to our septic system and all the leach lines. So we want to make sure we're not putting anything over top of it. So I'm going to go find some drone shots and just sort of double check the distances of how far out those leach lines come from the back of the tank.
Today's video is sponsored by our friends at Reolink. Now, if you're completely off-grid but have access to a cell connection, you should check out the Altus Go PT.
It's a 4G camera powered by solar with a long-lasting battery and easy installation. So it has a massive 20,000 milliamp hour battery built into this huge housing, which means that this thing can run all winter when it's in PIR triggered recording mode. But of course we'll be using one of the 12-watt Reolink solar panels to keep it topped off. And really it only needs like 10 minutes of sun a day when it's in that PIR triggered mode. It's super efficient. Now if you want to use a little more power, you can enable pre-recording mode, which means that this thing is always going to be triggered by motion. You can set all that stuff up, but you can also tell it to record the previous 10 seconds of the motion so that you can capture the full event and get more context to know what might have happened. Now, the Altus Go PT does not have Wi-Fi, but it does have a SIM card and 4G cellular connection capabilities. This is a really cool feature for those of us who are off-grid but don't have a Wi-Fi mesh system or some sort of hardwired internet run to our property yet. Of course, it is a cell plan, and so you do have to pay monthly for it, but you can turn it off and on at any time. There's no activation fees. You can manage that all through the Reolink app. It's really easy to use. It comes with a 355-degree pan and 90-degree tilt, and it's movement activated so it can track just about any subject nearby. And of course, the Altus Go PT has many of the same features we've already grown to love from Reolink's other cameras: Color X night vision, smart detection, siren, and real-time talk. Good morning, goats. Looking especially goaty today.
Spring cleaning starts with a clear view.
Join the Reolink 17th anniversary now and save up to 50%. Just use the link in the description of this video.
All right, let's get back to it.
All right, in order to put this wall in, we need just a little toe hold. We're not going to do anything crazy, not our big deep foundations with all the rubble trench stuff. We're just going to get a little bit in the ground, so we've marked where we need to dig it out. We've got room for both a 12-inch bag and 4 inches of lavacrete. So yeah, we're just going to get this area prepped and then lay a few bags. Shouldn't be a problem. Should be really easy. We have another flat shovel over there. It's about 3 inches difference. So you're going to need to go down a little more. Already hit the hard stuff.
Oh yeah, I've noticed.
Whoa!
Yeah! Good job, everybody.
It's been a while since we had a trench party.
I didn't miss it.
I know. But it wasn't too bad. Pretty small trenches,
Yeah.
all things considered. So yeah, next step is we need to lay this earthbag wall. A couple of layers, 3 or 4 layers. And then we got to set all the forms here for the garden beds.
But we need hardware cloth before we set these forms.
Sure. I mean, it'd be
So,
helpful
let's
if our
just-
spreader clips were here too.
Yeah, let's just focus today on the earthbag wall.
I think that's a great idea. Well, after a lovely morning of trenching, here are the results. We have ourselves the beginnings of an earthbag and lavacrete wall. We're actually going to try to combine lavacrete and Hyperadobe. So it's going to curve like this, it's going to come like this, and then just kind of gently curve out at the end. And the main reason for this wall is that we want to protect the septic line from the lavacrete building to the septic. It's kind of right there, it's really shallow, so we want to encourage, as people like drive through here, we don't want them to run into the septic because that would be real bad. So we're going to curve that wall out at the end just to kind of encourage them, hey, scoot over a little bit. Now also, our lavacrete garden beds is going to be this big L shape, so we've dug down just a little bit there in the width of the wall. Now this is going to be part of a larger project that we're not really in any hurry to get done, but basically there's going to be another wall on the other side. It'll go all the way down here, it'll curve right there, and it'll go down to this side of the building. And that way you'll have a nice little like walkway. We'll have this nice straight walkway, we'll have a place to put our generator raised up, and also we won't have to deal with all this fall off here where they mounted up the AB mix for this building. So it'll be a nice little retaining wall. It'll look really good. We'll have stuff planted in it. Just for this workshop, just to make sure we don't get ahead of ourselves, we're gonna just focus on this wall and on the garden beds. So the first step is 12-inch Hyperadobe bags, 3 or 4 layers high, and then we'll go from there. How excited are you for earth bags?
Can you tell my face how excited I am?
Good. High right there. Just knowing that they're the right height. Oh, right high right there. All right, our little baby wall is 3 layers high. I think it's looking pretty good, but we are using site soil and not AB, and so it is definitely not locking up as quickly as our bags usually do. You try to walk on it, it's very squishy, it needs like time, but we kind of have to get this done today, so we've wet it down, we're gonna let it sit for an hour, and hopefully it'll get kind of harder enough where we can keep going. We need at least, you think 2 more layers? At least 2 more layers tonight. Twist. Oh no. It's gonna be a nail biter.
I'm guessing 2 shovel scoops. Maybe even 3.
Might make it.
Last bag of the day.
Yeah.
I think so.
Bag.
Well, we're gonna check the level real quick and see where we're at. Because the thing we realize is we don't want to get too high on the building on the other side. We want these to match. So if we go up crazy tall, it's gonna be weird.
2 scoops.
Wait.
We could slope it. I feel like it needs a little more.
Maybe like 1 scoop.
Like 2 total.
2, 3. Why? Thank you.
Probably it.
Good morning. We had ourselves a nice little rain last night, a whole inch of water. It locked in our little earth bag wall really well. It cleaned up our trench for the lavacrete garden beds. And so, yeah, we're here this morning. We have to get the first forms up for the garden beds because people are coming tomorrow for the workshop. Also, Eric's been here all week and we haven't said hey or introduced him or thanked him for being here.
Oh, hey!
Thanks, Eric. He's been a huge help. He totally helped us rock this massive earth bag wall out and helped us with all the trenching. So, oh yeah, and his expert tractor work leveled this entire area and got us ready to go. Good job. So yeah, we're running out of time, guys. We have a lot to do today, and we were supposed to do this yesterday, and the rain rained us out. So we got to get this done. And then we got to get ready for the workshop. This is only the first part. There's so many pieces. Workshops are hard. Okay, so I need to trim that.
Yeah, trim it a little shy of this edge.
In case you're wondering why we're putting hardware cloth under these, because rodents and stuff. We don't want them digging up into the garden bed where the soil is really nice and there's lots of tasty roots. So we're making sure that we have a good barrier, since these are going to be definitely like pretty permanent. Like once they get poured in here, we're not going to move them, so we're going to protect the bottom. So that's why we're putting hardware cloth in.
Okay, so while Eric and Jonathan are finishing up the forms over there, I have other things I have to do. Kids and I, well, specifically Jax and Ada and I, have taken on a little side job. So we're helping a friend run their Airbnb while they are in Alaska for 6 months. So yesterday, we were supposed to clean yesterday for the guests that check in today, but the previous guest actually locked the door the wrong way. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Long story, but now I have to go meet the locksmith and get in there to clean before the guests check in at 4 o'clock today. There's always so much to do. I think a lot of people just think we just run these events and everything's fine, and it's not a big deal. It's a huge deal. There are so many things that have to get done before the event even starts. This is just one of those days where there's a lot of things that have to get done. Good luck.
Thanks.
I expect it to be done when I get back.
What?
It better be done when I get back.
Okay, we were losing our minds. Our trench was so perfect that it didn't leave enough wiggle room once we put this hardware cloth in and we tried to fold it down. So rather than try to take everything out and redig it, we're just gonna adjust that long, or I guess the short end, to be just a little bit wider, because otherwise we're gonna have to like smash the whole wall in or chip it and bring it all the way out. There's no reason to do that. We'll get a little bit more room inside the garden bed. 1 inch, 1.5 inches.
1.5.
1.5 inches. But that means we got to undo some of what we did. Once you get the first corner set, it's going to go a lot faster. It's like Paul says, you're building in 3 dimensions. All 3 dimensions have to be perfect on the first corner so you can get the rest of them perfect. Anyway, back to it.
You know, the difficult part is we got everything dead nuts perfect and then found out
I know.
it's too short.
It's like 3D chess. That's what it's like.
3D
it's like
chess.
3D chess. Yep. That looks square again. This side was like pinching in and it was not right. So if we can just get these like 4 corners here all locked in and level and all that stuff, should be easy from here, right?
Yeah, I think so. Now that we've got an actual square end.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Look, it's a big old box of screws.
It's convenient.
Hey, look at that.
Cooking with the gas now.
It's gonna be done by the time she gets back.
Are you sure it's not 4D chess?
Okay.
Good job. That wasn't a nightmare. 17.5.
No, that is what you told me. That's what I have marked.
Okay.
Keep going with your gut.
No, I mean, you know, sometimes it pays to double check. That's definitely the wrong piece.
That's the wrong piece.
Yeah.
We're almost there.
Very so much nearly.
Good grief. Okay, so it's been a long day. I really took for granted how nice it was to have Wilcox Rock and Sand do all of the stem wall work for the lavacrete utility lodge, because measuring and cutting for these forms was way simpler when we already had a perfectly square and plumb and level base to work with. This was a lot more complicated, and we've been fighting with like little bits that weren't quite right, or like we forgot about the 3/4 dimension and we didn't cut things quite long enough. And just in general, it's just really hard to get it where we want it. But I think we have it squared out. So the goal now is we're going to get it leveled, which it's all connected. It should be pretty easy. We can just put some like rocks underneath the side and kind of bump it up if we need to level it out. And then there's a few places where there's a little warp in here. You know, some people have talked about how they feel like doing formwork like this is like a huge waste, right? Because you're buying all this plywood, you're just going to discard it later. Well, I can tell you that this plywood has now done the bond beam for the Hyperadobe roundhouse. It has done the entirety of the lavacrete utility lodge, and now it is doing garden beds. So we've definitely got our money's worth out of these forms. I will say they're feeling really rickety, like the screws aren't holding as well anymore. There's definitely some weird curves and warps in them. So I'm not sure how much longer this plywood's gonna last, but I think if you were to keep everything straight and then go put it up after you're done with it, you could really get a lot of use out of forms like this, and it would be a pretty small upfront investment. Not anywhere close to what you have to do with rammed earth, that's for sure. You can just do this with like 3/4 inch plywood and 2x, and like that's pretty much all you need. So anyway, we are running out of time. The workshop is tomorrow, and it's still a disaster over here, and we still haven't finished this. Please send help. All right, we finally got it done. I'm gonna give you a quick walkthrough. So we did all of this with these 8-inch spreader clips. So it's 8 inches, and then it has space for 3/4 inch plywood. And we ended up just using them on the bottom. They'll just stay in there. The top ones will get taken off and moved up. And then we did the same thing we did on the lavacrete building. We just took vertical 2x4s and we put little plates on them so that we could screw them into the plywood and take them off later, because if we were to screw back through here and hold them, then you're not going to be able to get these forms off without ripping a bunch of stuff apart. So yeah, everything fit pretty well in. We did put hardware cloth in because of animals, and we just spent a ton of time trying to get it plumb and level in all the corners, nice and square and even, which is much harder than it sounds when you're dealing with a dirt floor, trust me. But I think it all turned out pretty dang good. Now this isn't going to be the full height. We're going to go up, I think, another partial lift, and we're going to add lavacrete to the top of this and to the front of it. All right, so we're going to build a whole form system off the front of it, and it's going to go over top. So it'll be like an upside down L over the Hyperadobe, which will be really cool. And then I think that's it. Me and Eric spent all day doing it. Good job. And we're ready to not be outside anymore because we're a little toasty. So, workshop tomorrow morning. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm not ready, but I will be.
Much.
Trona, what's the matter? Oh, goodness.
If my life is like a garden, I've been pulling weeds for years. Some more stubborn interwoven, but I'm finally seeing some things.
Oh my goodness.
A little more clear.
That is cool.
Good idea on the stride.
Isn't that the joy of living?